Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to detail what's inside a motor that usually used for BMW E36 windows and a sunroof. Particularly this one is from a sunroof, so I'm making this video to explain what's inside of it and how it works, and also to save you from buying a new one in case yours start to not working. So this one, I pulled it from here, and it opens and closes sunroof, and right here is the switch. I already tested the switch, and I got here, this is the output that feed the motor. I got the plus 12 volts and minus 12 volts in both directions, opening and closing. So we got everything good, and they're all manufactured in Germany, made in Germany, and I already put it apart, so it's going to be easier for me. All you have to do is undo these clamps. Most of them is broken for me. I was impatient, and I was assuming that this motor is not going to work. So you pull them, you pull the upper side like that, and it's all with clamps. You use a flathead screwdriver and it will come off easily. So what's inside here is we have, I'll put this back the way it was. So starting by the motor, we have a DC motor here, and we have a worm gear system that goes from a metal piece to a plastic gear, and then the output is here, right here. This gear is gonna rotate and move our cassette system, and then the sunroof can open and close. You can see the torque multiplication here. There's a big amount of torque multiplied from here, going to very tiny gears to a huge gear. And here is the input of the motor. So let's go and check. We'll go with this later. So let's go and check what we have here. Here we have a very simple electrical system, and we got the input here, the output here. We got a relay, and also here we got like a sensor or like a push button. And once this is pushed, one of them is pushed, nothing's gonna work, so the relay will not work. And then there's no 12 volt here, and then the motor will not work. And why we have this here, actually this is the turn. So this is where the turn comes of this disc that have a small gear here. As you can see here on top, you have an eccentric system. So what happened here, this goes like that, and that gear won't do anything. It will not interfere with that white disc unless there is a very high amount of torque applied. This eccentric system will tend to push that that gear toward the outside, making this turn, and having these shapes coming out from this side. As you can see from this side, we'll push on here. I'm not really going to very much detail. It's just a little bit of general explanation. So and once these are pushed, there's no 12 volt here, and the motor will stop, and that's how you save the motor, and it will not burn when it's like locked. So one of the reasons the motor can go bad is the motor burn, a high amount of torque applied, and you keep pushing on the button, try to move it, so a high current go through it, and then it burns sometimes, which is a very rare condition, because you got the fuses there to protect everything. So the second thing is, like here, my case, I'm pushing on the button and I don't hear any relay clicking. Then I remove this, and then there's no way that this is interfering with that here. So I think that something's wrong with this switch or the relay itself. And to buy a new one is gonna cost me a $30 to $60, depends from where you buy it and the condition. That's for a used one. I'm going to put 12 volt here, link it to the battery and see if it works. And if it works, what I'm going to do, I'm going to eliminate all this system, and I'm going to take some wires from right here directly to here, and then every time I push the button, the system will move. And that's how you save some money. Once you use this hack way, be careful, because you will not have any safety, and the motor will always be working even if you go to the terminal position. So this way you're going to count on your attention every time you close and you open the sunroof. Make sure if you give this to another drivers that it's not going to happen. So right here we have the motor, and right here we have two wires. I'm going to test it with the battery and see where it turns. Make sure that them connections are not gonna touch. We're gonna use 12 plus and minus, so it works in that direction. Let's try the other. We got it working. So this hack way is gonna work pretty good. So that's it. We had this circuit welded directly. So took the bottom there and welded directly to the top there. I already tested them, and I tested from here with the one here, and it's like directly takes the current from here till here. So after applying 12 volt, find out that there is a short, and it's obviously this relay inside is shorted. And I removed, I guess this was a capacitor, that's what it looks like. And now I don't have any short, and I'm gonna mount it like this and see how it's gonna work. And this circuit is not a complicated thing. It's a relay and a sequence of resistors here and transistors here, and so right here we're going to test our sunroof. It's all ready to go. I know the interior is rough and busted, but I'm going to fix it, clean it later. But we go here with priority. I got the key in the ignition. Let's try to open it. There you go. It opens all the way, and it closes all the way, and it also tilts when it goes to the end. It's a good way. Put the motor here back. It's all working. So we saved ourselves a lot of money. We just welded this 2 wires and it's all good to go now. You have to be careful when you go to the end. I mean, when you close all the way back to the end, you have to be careful. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this video was helpful.